Hey guys, it's Rich at the Mystery School. Hey, yesterday I posted a video on Facebook of my TZ250. I kind of walked you around the bike and I showed you some of the features of the bike. Yamaha 250s are purpose-built race bikes and they're a pretty neat machine to ride. This one in particular has a brand new engine right now, and so when we start it up we have to be a little bit careful breaking it in. But it's an engine that I actually make myself. I port my own cylinders, and I had some special cylinder heads made, and a few other little tricks of the trade go into designing it. And it's a very peaky, powerful two-stroke power plant that puts out probably about, depends on the dyno that you use, but it can be anywhere from, say, low 90s to high 90s. And with a bike that only weighs 220 pounds, when you're talking about 95, 96 horsepower, it makes it accelerate pretty hard. Now stock, these bikes come with about 84 to 86 horsepower. So it doesn't sound like we're getting that much more, but the percentage of horsepower gain is quite a bit, and 1 or 2 horsepower on one of these bikes makes a big difference in lap time. So that's why we work on them so hard. And so when we start it up, you'll hear how explosive and how quickly it revs, and it's a pretty neat bike to ride. It doesn't have a lot of low-end power, so you have to be careful with the way that you set the bike up for the track. Gearbox ratios have to be perfect. Your overall gearing, your riding style's got to be very good about keeping the bike in the power band. But on an open track with no traffic, it'll pull really hard, and you can ride really, really fast with that extra top-end power. But of course, adding top-end power, you take away low-end power, and so there's always a sacrifice when you gain power on most of the race bikes. So why don't we start it up? I'll show you how to do that, and you can listen to it for a little while, and you will now be able to hear what a 250 Grand Prix bike sounds like. So first thing, we turn the fuel on. We have the plug for the battery. The battery's under the seat. That turns everything else on. You have a main switch, that's basically your on-off switch to ride the bike, and that'll cycle the tachometer, turns the temperature gauge on, makes the power valves open and close so you know those are working properly. And then we have a EGT gauge that measures exhaust gas temperature, so that'll light up. And then we just turn our speed shifter on. I'll come around this side of the bike, and you just put it in first gear and take it off the stand. And you really don't have to push too hard because it doesn't have a lot of engine compression, so you should be 2 or 3 steps and you can start it. Okay, now that we're all deaf, that's what it sounds like. Temperature gauge came up to 52 degrees, so we would normally warm it up to about 65 C. That's where it likes to run on the track. Between 60 and 65 is good. And then you can see the exhaust temperature now cooling down. This is pipe number 2, cylinder number 2, and you can see that temperature dropping now. But you can cycle back and forth between each cylinder, and you can see which one is running at which temperature. It helps you tune the bike. So that's kind of how that works right there. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that. I better turn everything off and get this thing buttoned up. We're going to put it back together, take it to Laguna Seca. There is a Legends event Saturday afternoon. We're going to take these bikes out for a few laps around the track. And so if you're at Laguna watching World Superbike or Moto America, be sure to stick around on Saturday, and you can see a lot of old Superbikes and at least one TZ250 take to the track and cruise around, take a couple laps with it. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hope you have a great race weekend. Thanks a lot.